Hello, today's episode is about the 4 blind spots that quietly sabotage love and how you can identify your success pattern to actually break through. So, I want to talk about something that might seem obvious, but once you know this, you won't be able to unsee it. And you're going to recognize how this has been quietly sabotaging your love life in the most subtle yet overpowering ways. Now you're successful, you're a high functioning woman, you built this incredible life, you're capable and you're driven, and you know what you want in love. And yet you still haven't met the right man. And here's what's crazy. It's not because there's something wrong with you. It's not because you're too much or not enough. It's because you're actually running a blind spot pattern that you don't even know is existing for you. So that pattern is actually quietly blocking you from attracting the man that you actually want. And in this episode, I'm going to show you exactly what that pattern is, why it's sabotaging you, and most importantly, how to shift it so you can finally attract that love that you want without all that dating struggle. So before we dive into the 4 success patterns, I want you to understand something really important. Most dating advice tells you to be yourself or love yourself more or set better boundaries, right? And yes, this is all true, but there's one major thing that most advice is missing. And this is knowing your success pattern. So these are the things that make you successful in your career and your life. These are actually the same things that are blocking you in love. One of my mentors, John Maxwell, he says that a strength overused becomes a weakness. And that has really stuck with me for years, especially if you're a high functioning woman who's used to getting stuff done and you're not used to relying on anyone else and you make things happen, right? So these aren't just a weakness. They've actually become a blind spot. The reason why they're a blind spot is because they've worked so well for you everywhere else in your life that you don't even realize that you're repelling men on that emotional and energetic level with that kind of pattern. And let's face it, heterosexual men don't want to date someone who's like them. They want to be with someone with an integrated feminine energy, someone who complements their masculine energy. So that's what we're going to uncover today. So let's start with pattern number 1, the overachiever. So if this is you, here's what your pattern looks like. You might approach dating like it's a sales game. I know I've done this. The more you date, the more men you date, one of them has to be the right one. And one thing my mom said to me when I was younger, she said, collect, then select. And this might have used to work decades ago or when you were in your 20s or 30s, but the world has definitely changed and men are confused about how to be men. And many actually feel intimidated by women who are more successful than they are. And even the ones who are comfortable with their masculinity might feel your competitive drive in your relationship. So here's your blind spot. Men don't feel desired by you. They might feel interviewed. Like when a man is around you, he doesn't feel like you're genuinely interested in him. He feels like he might be evaluated against your checklist and he feels like he's competing for a position in your life. And the most masculine, high quality men, they don't want to be feeling like they're auditioning. They want to feel chosen by you, just like you want to feel chosen. They want to feel like you're magnetized to him and not just checking your checklist boxes. So what happens then? You end up attracting men who are either insecure enough to accept this kind of transactional energy, or they ghost you and disappear because they really feel like you're not really with them. You're just ticking off your checklist. Just like you don't want to be a trophy wife, he doesn't want to be the handbag on your arm either. So here's the shift you need to make. Move from achieving to receiving. Instead of managing this dating process, you need to learn how to be magnetized by a man, how to be present with him instead of judging him all the time, how to let him lead instead of always initiating and planning everything. And here's what becomes possible when you make this shift. Men start pursuing you. Real men, quality men, men who feel your genuine interest and actually respond to it. You stop forcing connections and you actually start attracting them naturally. And that's when dating becomes effortless instead of exhausting and having to be hard work. Does that resonate with you? Okay, pattern number 2, the independent woman. So if this is you, you've built an incredible life on your own. You don't need a man, right? You've got your career, that's your focus in your life. Your finances are good. You've got a great social life, great friends, great support network. You're fully self-sufficient and you're capable. Honestly, you're proud of that. And, you should be. You love traveling and wish you could meet someone who could sail into the sunset with you and have that lifestyle as well. And that's amazing. But here's your blind spot. Men don't know where they fit into your life. You're like this butterfly floating everywhere. You're so good at doing everything yourself that there's literally no space for him. You have all your plans set in concrete already. You're just super busy for, your calendar's full for months. And even your self-care time takes priority if he suggests a spontaneous date. And you've optimized your life to this point where a man feels optional and he feels it. Men want to be needed and wanted, like their biological drive makes them search for the exact place where he can be needed, wanted, and support his woman and make her feel safe and protected. And then here's what happens. A good man might come along for you and he wants to provide, to lead you and be needed by you. But you've got it all handled. So then he feels emasculated. He feels like you don't actually need him. And so slowly he pulls away and he looks for someone who can receive his love and care. Or maybe you're attracting men who are okay with being, peripheral on the sidelines. Those are men who don't really step up because they figure out you don't actually need them to. So here's a shift that you can make. Move from independence to interdependence. This comes from Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and I just love this. This doesn't mean becoming dependent or codependent. It means 2 whole independent people coming together, creating a space for partnership. And that actually means being willing to receive his help. It means letting him lead in certain areas. It means showing him where he can matter. And then here's what becomes possible. You actually attract a man who feels like a true partner, not a luxury add-on. He steps up because he feels needed and valued. And then you get to experience being supported instead of always being the strong masculine one. And then love becomes a collaboration instead of you managing everything solo and then getting frustrated and feeling like you've attracted a more feminine partner who never takes the lead. And then you have to do it all, right? Does that resonate? So here's pattern number 3, the perfectionist. I know I've done this myself. You have really high standards and you should, right? You're not going to settle for just anyone. And you know what you want. You're discerning, you're detail oriented, you notice everything. You know what you want in life and you go for it in the exact way that you want it. And that's great until it's not. Here's your blind spot. You're looking for flaws instead of actually connecting. You meet a man and instead of getting to know him, your brain is already scanning for, what's wrong, what's the red flag, what's not on my checklist. And you're dating from a process of elimination instead of connection. He might say something slightly weird or awkward, red flag. Maybe his job isn't quite what you imagine. Okay, disqualified. He's not exactly 6'2" or taller than you, or he has a dad bod. He chews funny, right? Next guy. So you're so focused to find the perfect fit for you that you're missing the real man who's actually in front of you. And here's what happens. You disqualify men before they even have a chance. You're so busy looking for reasons why he's not good enough that you never actually connect with him. And the men who could be amazing for you, they sense your judgment and they pull away. They probably even sense you're going to be too hard work, even if they feel like you're an exciting challenge or trophy in the beginning of the relationship. But they know that maintaining a relationship with you is probably going to be unbearable and it's going to be hard work for them the whole time. So the shift you need to make is to move from perfection to presence. Instead of scanning for flaws, things he does wrong, learn to be present with him instead. Get curious about who he is instead of being critical, and look for connection instead of perfection. And understand that the right man won't be perfect. He'll be real, and that authenticity will be right for you. And then what becomes possible? You're going to attract men who feel safe being themselves around you. You get to be vulnerable around them and they can open up to you as well. You actually get to know people instead of dismissing them. You're going to experience genuine connection instead of endless searching. You realize that the man you're looking for, he's not going to be perfect. He's going to be just right for you. So are you seeing yourself here? Finally, pattern number 4, the rescuer. And I know I fit this profile as well. If this is you, you're probably nurturing, you're generous, you always see the best in people. You're the kind of woman who steps in when someone needs help. and you believe in people's potential so much and you hold them to it. This is amazing. And this is definitely me. But here's your blind spot. And this one is probably the most painful, that you're attracted to men who need to be saved and you mistake being needed for being loved. You meet a man with potential. He's got some wounds, probably some baggage, some unresolved stuff. And these are the ones you're most attracted to. You see what he could be and you think, if I just love him, help him, support him enough, believe in him, he's going to rise to the occasion. He'll become that man I see him as. And then we're going to have this amazing life together where I inspire him to be the greatest man, his greatest potential that he can be. And so you pour yourself into him, you support him emotionally, you help him with his problems. You just give and give and give, and hoping that your effort and your love will inspire him to step up. But one of two things is going to happen. He gets comfortable with being rescued. You're like his mum. He doesn't rise to the occasion anymore. He becomes dependent on your support, and he never actually steps up because he's too busy being taken care of by you. Or the other situation is that he gets frustrated with you and feels like he's not good enough for you and that you're trying to make him something that he's not. You end up invisible in the relationship because you're always giving everything and you're needed, but you're not valued. You're useful, but you might not feel that deep love. And the worst part, you keep repeating this pattern because being needed, it feels like love to you. Here's the shift you need to make to move from rescuing to receiving. You have to stop looking for those men with the potential and just start honoring those men who are already in their potential and their whole. Stop trying to fix him and start requiring that he shows up as an equal. Stop giving to prove your worth and start receiving to honor your value. The thing is, a healthy man doesn't need to be saved. He needs to be met where he is at right now. And your job isn't to heal or fix him. It's to simply be with him and love him. And then here's what becomes possible. You attract that man who's already done his own inner work. Wouldn't that be amazing? A man who steps up and leads because he wants to, not because he needs you to. And not because you earned it through your self-sacrifice, the martyr, but because he genuinely wants you, the authentic you. And you experience being valued instead of just being useful. You also get to receive that feminine energy instead of always giving, which is the masculine. So does this resonate? Okay, so let me summarize these 4 patterns. The overachiever is trying to control dating instead of making real connections. The independent woman has built a life where there's no space for a man. The perfectionist is looking to eliminate time wasters instead of authentic connection. The rescuer is attracted to men who need saving instead of men who can show up as equals. Now, here's what's important to understand. You might see yourself in all of these patterns, and most successful, high-functioning women do, but there's usually just one that's causing your primary blind spot, and that one is causing the most damage in your love life. And here's what we need to identify. Because once you know which pattern you're running, you can finally understand why you keep attracting the wrong men, or why the good ones pull away and ghost or disappear, and why you keep ending up in the same relationship situation over and over and over again. Now, if you're ready to interrupt your success pattern, take the Love Blind Spot audit that I've created for you. You're going to discover your specific success pattern that's blocking love. You're going to identify which of those 4 common success patterns is actually keeping you stuck, and you don't have to keep guessing. And you're going to wonder what's in this way for you. You'll finally see that blind spot clearly. You'll think back and go, oh my gosh, I've noticed myself in all those situations. And you're going to know why the men you're attracting aren't equal to you. You're going to understand that specific reason you keep meeting those emotionally unavailable guys, or those projects that need fixing, or guys who can't match you financially, emotionally, mentally, and what's actually drawing them to you. So it's not your success, it's the pattern that you're running. And this awareness alone is going to show you how you can shift. And this exact shift you need is going to start actually attracting the right man. And I'm going to give you the personalized roadmap showing you exactly what needs to change, not just generic advice, but specific guidance based on your specific pattern. And you'll know what to stop doing, what to start doing, and how to attract that right man without the dating struggle, all those endless apps. I'm sure you're probably off all the apps already. That exhausting being on and just putting yourself out there all the time. So if you resonate with this episode, please like and subscribe. Forward this to any amazing women who need to hear this right now. So go ahead, click on the links below to get your audit right now, and I'll see you there.